And by selling these drones, Krishna made 15 lakh in just 3 months of his dropshipping.
And got offered 50 lakh rupees by investors.
So you have no classes for 6 months in a year and you do dropshipping, internship, content and so many other things.
Yeah, honestly, do you regret not doing dropshipping?
I look up her LinkedIn and then I realize that she's the daughter of Arvind Kejriwal, who's the ex-Delhi CM.
And so that made sense, but did you lose any friends in the process?
They offered me 50 lakhs for 50% of my company.
यार ठीक है, but मास्टर्स में क्या अच्छा नहीं है?
यार, then I realized कि मुझे editing का E भी नहीं आता.
Likewise, even I realized कि मुझे content creation का C भी नहीं आता.
And even though Krishna was doing content with us, for lack of a better word, he was terrible at it. At the college we study, Masters Union, there's this concept that in a year, 6 months you don't have any classes. Essentially we call this period as Outclass, and the concept is that whenever you want to build a business or you want to learn skills in general, a better way to do that is to be in the field, be in the reality and then learn it. For example, let's say you build an e-commerce store, you do internships, you make your own content like Rajas made, and essentially that's the flow. Ki you just go and try different things in the real world, and that is when you actually learn more things. I think generally in India, this is not a concept that's very prevalent, and I can recall only Masters Union as a college that does that. What is your take on Outclass generally, Hitarth?
Yeah, so Masters Union believes in learning by doing, right? That's our motto.
Yeah.
So the way our curriculum is designed, it's very practical in nature. So we have like two components in the curriculum. One is the in-class component, the other one is the out-class component. Unlike 2 semesters a year in normal colleges in India like Christ, NMIMS or Symbiosis, we have 4 different quarters. So one in-class quarter is followed by an out-class quarter, wherein we apply all our learnings from the first in-class quarter, and likewise follows in the third and the fourth. So fourth is again an out-class quarter. Yeah.
So essentially, it's like you come over here in the first semester. We're all second year undergrad students, so we're all 1 year into this course. And when you came here, the first 3 months, you learned more about, let's say, digital marketing, courses related to e-commerce, etc. And then we had a dropshipping semester. And if you can all see, there's a drone kept on this table, and there's a very special reason for that. Krishna Gupta, one of our guests and one of the person behind Cospire, had this very interesting concept of selling drones to South India, and they all did this as dropshipping. Krishna, do you want to take us through the journey of what is dropshipping essentially, and then what did you do? How was the experience? How much money did you make, if you can tell?
Okay, so dropshipping primarily is a business model where we do not hold inventory. We only get orders for the suppliers, and suppliers fulfills the orders on behalf of us. And if I talk about the dropshipping challenge at MU, it primarily started on 18 November 2023, and we started it in the first week of November to have an edge over other teams. Now, when I was forming teams, I was looking for people who can genuinely give their heart and soul to the venture or the dropshipping challenge, and who had that zeal to work and win.
Okay.
So this was my basic criteria initially.
And was it actually this serious? As in, of course, any college would generally glorify whatever they do. Is it actually this serious, and are people very serious about dropshipping? Is winning dropshipping a big thing? Or how does the college environment generally look like at the time of dropshipping?
So if I give you a first-hand experience of what it looks like, see, as I told you that we started it like 20 days before the challenge. Right now, the next batch, the junior batch, has already started it 2 to 3 months before the challenge. So the zeal of winning the challenge is very real, and people become a lot more competitive when the challenge comes nearer.
Have you seen friendships break in the college generally? Have you seen fights happen generally? I'm genuinely asking.
Right next door.
Okay.
So an honest answer to that question, if you are mature enough, obviously the friendships do last long, but obviously there are some minor issues that has to be, minor issues that the partners individually face, because it all depends on the group dynamics that you have among yourselves. So each and every person operates from some different behaviors, right? Each and every person has different styles of working. So it's very natural to have some disagreements between you, but if the person in front of you or who are you dealing with, if he is mature enough, he or she is mature enough, then I don't think there will be long-term impacts on your friend.
But I also think that this part of dropshipping is very necessary because when I started as a 12th grader, I felt like I was in this ideal world. But when I entered the college and when dropshipping began, I felt like, okay, I've entered the real world where
Okay.
it's not all hunky dory. It's not like everything will go according to your plan. There will be a lot of mess ups. There will be a lot of things you learn about different people. So, if you have the, for example, if you have the best product, but if you are doing that with the wrong people for you, it's not going to work. And it's very hard to understand that. And dropshipping was a very important lesson in that aspect for a lot of people as well. So, yeah.
Yeah, and it's so different. I think one that it was a very counterintuitive thing you said, that it's essential to have those fights. And of course, you come from a very closed environment in 12th, and then Masters Union says, hey, you're 2 months into this college, you barely know the people you're around, and you have to make decisions which in the moment seem like there are life decisions, and you have to decide your co-founders, because essentially most people start any business thinking, hey, we're going to do this for the next 10 years, we're going to make the next 10 CR or probably more out of this. Do you think that in general, dropshipping as a model is a good model to have a business, or it's just a good experience for 2 months to learn how to make teams, or how do you, let's say, understand e-commerce, how do you sell to people, how do you talk to suppliers? What is your take on that?
Yeah, I will tell you what my experience was.
Okay.
So I continued this journey even after the challenge ended. So I practically did it from December 2023 to August 2024. And when I look back at my journey, I only remember the learnings and the experiences that I got from it. So though there was a monetary aspect involved, but the experience.
What was the monetary aspect? It just makes it more interesting for us to understand it.
Yeah, absolutely. So we made a revenue of almost 15 lakhs in the span of first 3 months.
Okay.
And we were almost profitable of about more than 50,000 for the
Okay.
initial few months, and then we had some losses in the next few months, and that was one of the reasons that why I did not continue it, because I also wanted to focus on other challenges and other opportunities in Masters Union. So that was the monetary aspect involved. But apart from it, the learnings that I got from it, they will be there with me for my life. And right now I am doing the content creation challenge. I can implement each and every learning from there, even here.
Let's say after the 3 months, like when you came out of the business, did you come with a profit or a loss? Did you make any money out of it?
So initially 5 months we made money, like the month till April we made money, April, May. But then afterwards, like from the month of June, starting of June itself, our revenue fell by half because we shifted our target from South India to Pan India.
Nee, but abhi you're out of the business now. You're focusing on you. Now looking back at it, overall, did you make money out of New Age or did you lose money?
No, so right now I cannot say that I lost money or I made money, because I'm still in the process of my exit. So if that comes out to be good, I make money. If not, I lose money, to be very honest.
That's so cool. I think 19-year-olds, 20-year-olds talking about exits and teams and, oh, I did a business, it didn't work out. I think it's cool how in the next 2-3 years we'll have 6 different experiences, and even if all of them are failures, I think it doesn't matter, because it's like I have these 6 failures where I learned, let's say, 10 things in each of this, and now when I come out as a package which is like, oh, now he's done the XYZ things, and now he's so ready for the real world. Dropshipping ended, and then we had our in-class semester again. We learned skills. We were studying. That was actually the last semester we were actually studying. Uske baad to I don't remember we were studying. But then our internships came, and I think 3 of us did internships. Rajat, Hitarth, and myself, and Krishna was busy with this new age thing. You did an internship at a very special place. I think the founder is a very special person.
Yeah.
You want to take us through the journey of what was this internship, how was it, or he's already actually made it, did the branding already.
Yeah.
But
So I interned at this very cool company called Basil. So Basil is this very young startup which is into F&B industry, that's food and beverage industry, and they are into selling of healthy drinks and healthy smoothies, shakes, right? So one key differentiator is that they don't use any kind of artificial sugar. They use natural sweeteners like jaggery,
Okay.
like dates, or like honey.
All right.
So during the time I was interning with them, this was last year from the month of December to the month of March. So during those 3 months,
Okay, so this was winter internship.
Yeah, this was a winter internship.
Myself and Rajas were we did summer internship,
Yeah.
and you were doing a winter internship.
Yes.
Okay, so at Masters, there's this one option also that you don't do a drop shipping necessarily. You can
Yeah.
do multiple things. It's essentially your first paycheck challenge.
Yeah.
So whatever way you can get to earn your first paycheck at the age of 18 is the concept.
Yeah. So, in fact, last year during the same time, it was November, and we had to choose from 4 different options for our first paycheck challenge. So those 4 options included you either do the dropshipping business, you either go do an internship, or you could choose from apprenticeship, or you could also freelance, in fact. So during the same time, I was actually confused between choosing dropshipping or an internship, right? So I had this one very important metric in my mind. I wanted to make sure that I get the most amount of exposure, right? So I wanted to optimize for exposure. So I thought about it and I decided to go with an internship rather than maybe doing a dropshipping challenge. That's because I felt like until now, like I'd done like a couple of internships in my high school as well, but then those internships were online internships. So these internships did not really give me an exposure to the offline real business world, right? But this time it was going to be an offline internship in a young startup. And me being an aspiring entrepreneur, if I'm getting to intern at a young startup, I think that's the best kind of exposure I could get. So which is why I actually chose to do an internship at Base Hill.
Do you regret not doing dropshipping?
Not really. I have an interesting story behind it as well. So during the time I was actually doing my internship, right? I always had this thing कि यार internship तो मैं कर रहा हूँ, लेकिन dropshipping पे मैं कैसे, yeah, like so dropshipping मैं कैसे नहीं करूँ? So I was like कि यार dropshipping ही करते हैं, कैसे करके तो करते हैं. So I was in fact actually moonlighting for around 45 days, and मैं सुबह जाता था internship पे and शाम को आके I used to do my own dropshipping. So because I said I wanted to optimize for exposure, right? I decided to do the dropshipping all by myself.
Okay.
So I was the only person who designed the Shopify store from scratch. So it taught me basic design sense and how to use Shopify as a platform. And then I figured out all the meta ads. And then I was trying to figure out the logistics as well. Yeah, I was the one who was calling and confirming the orders as well. So I actually had the best of both worlds. So while I was doing an internship during the day, during the night I was also trying my hand at dropshipping.
I think most of the people in the batch didn't actually know about this.
True.
But then at your internship, off camera you were telling me that you saw the founder and how she worked. Do
Yeah.
you want to talk about who is the founder?
Yes.
How was it different from a normal, let's say a normal setup?
Yeah.
And what was your experience
Yeah.
working with them?
Yeah, of course. So Basel's founder is Harshita Kejriwal, and she's the daughter of ex-Delhi CM Arvind Kejriwal. So I'll tell you about how I met Harshita for the first time, right? So we have one Basel outlet right here in Cyber Park, right? You all have must been there, and I mean, of course. So they had this tasting session. They were launching a few new drinks. So they had this special tasting session, especially for Masters Union folks in the hostel last year. So that is when I first interacted with her. And then right after I was done talking to her and I clicked a picture with her, I just saw her LinkedIn and it said Harshita Kejriwal. That's when I actually looked up and I realized that, oh, she's the daughter of Arvind Kejriwal.
And you didn't know this, and
And
you
I-
already interacted.
Yeah, I didn't know this. And I was like, damn, I must work with her somehow. And then few weeks later, I come to realize that Masters Union is providing us with the opportunity to actually intern at Basel. I was like, yeah, यहाँ पे तो internship करनी ही करनी है.
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah, my perception about how big households people actually are completely changed, right? Like, I couldn't tell if she was coming from such a big family background as such. And if there's one thing which I actually picked up from her, is her work ethic.
Okay.
She works a lot. Like, I think I picked up hustle from her during those 3 months of my internship.
That's probably the best thing you can do. Actually, in my summer internship also, I worked at this company called as YourNextHire.ai. Rohan Ganatra is the founder. Shout out to Rohan, always for life. I think I used to always consider myself as somebody who, in my head at least, I felt I'm base level smart, but I'm not somebody who works hard. I used to really feel that why do I not work hard? Why am I not able to focus? Why am I so distracted? And then Rohan made me work at least 10 hours a day, every day. And I almost to a level where I did almost nothing except working.
Yeah.
And I used to genuinely, and then I think I've cried at least thrice in those 10 days. I don't want to work so much. But then now, today morning, I wrote Rohan a message while I was traveling back from Jaipur that Rohan, thank you for giving me this hustle and work ethic thing.
Yeah.
He grilled this in my head that Yasho, in life, whatever you're going to do, it's always 70% of it is going to be boring work, is going to be things you'll not enjoy. And which is true with this podcast setup also. So many times we do so many things which is not fun. But probably for these moments, for those next 30% is why you do those things.
Yeah.
And I think it's cool how at 19-year-old, where most of the people our age are just either chilling or, you know, having fun or living a normal college life, we're put in this real life, as Raja said, you're put in this real life to realize that you're out of the bubble. Now it's your time. You'll have to see how the real world is. And it actually becomes a gradual transition from your ideal safe world to the real world, and you have so many ladders to climb. You don't have to jump at once. I'm assuming at Damench, you had a similar experience with internship, or what was it for you?
Yeah, no, before that, I want to talk about how you said for 10 hours you worked straight.
Yeah.
I've realized this as well. Hard work overplays skills in any scenario. I mean, I remember with anything, like for example, at Dimension when I worked, I was a product management intern.
Okay.
I did not know technology at all. I had no idea how to create a website, anything, because again, I didn't even do dropshipping, right? But then over there, I actually learned about it. I actually learned about how websites work and all that stuff. And I was actually able to be at par with other people who know about technology.
Wow.
So it's always hard work over skills. Talking about Dimension, it's basically I worked at Dimension as a product management intern, as I said.
Yeah.
From June to August, it was in Bangalore. I got this internship through the college as well. It was a very different experience. I was exposed to this very different world, not just because of the company, but also because of Bangalore. I'm from Pune, which is a very different place compared to Bangalore. Bangalore, you see this proper hustle culture.
Yeah.
Every third guy you see, he's either building something or he has already built something. I remember I was sitting at Third Wave Coffee.
Yeah.
I was just working. I was just doing stuff for my. I was just working, and I see the founder of Fampig, which was just crazy. And yeah, I just went to him and I introduced myself. I said hi. I knew him because our college was going to do an Outclass at Fampig, and I didn't get selected, by the way. So that was my opportunity. I
You were
went.
meant to meet him.
Yes.
And you met.
I went, talked to him. I showed him my card, my Fampig card, and yeah, you see, you meet a lot of cool people.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a very different experience. And after that, tech bubble. As soon as I came back here, I had a break for 1 month, and then we had the content creation challenge.
In the break, essentially, your in-class started. So you were having classes,
Yeah.
and then our content creation challenge started, and it's an overlap. As in, before our in-class ends, our outclass already starts mostly because they realize that it's better to have longer outclasses. And then you started with content creation, which is probably going to be the most interesting part of this video. But before coming to that, one thing that I'm assuming we're not glorifying hustle. We're just saying that it's just a good thing to have, that you can work hard.
Yeah.
We're not in any way saying that, hey, you have to, let's say, work 16 hours a day, or what's your take? How do you think about it?
No, yeah, you're completely correct. It's just that what happened to me, especially when I was in 11th or 12th, was that I used to look at the guy, I used to be like, oh, he knows technology. Oh, he knows how to do this. So I can never be at par with him. Even when I entered college, I was like, oh, wow, he knows so much. Oh, wow, she knows so much. I can never be at par with him or her. But when I actually started doing that, I realized that, okay, maybe I can get there. So it's just that whoever's doing something, they should not be scared of competing with someone or going against someone who might have a head start. It's just that it's their day 100 versus your day 0. Just that.
That's so cool. And then if you have the confidence that I can, even if I don't know technology, even if, let's say, I don't know finance, it is all figure outable if I can put in the work. And if I have that confidence in myself,
Yeah.
I think so much changes for me. I think you can just essentially do anything you want to do. So Rajas did his internship, came back, had a break. Then what happened, Rajas?
Yeah, okay. So actually, I came back and the content creation challenge began. But my actual content creation challenge, we're in November, by the way. My actual content creation challenge started in December last year.
Oh,
I didn't start with content creation challenge, but I think you all know Avanti Nagral.
Yeah.
She came to our college to record a video with the college, And I've been watching Avanti for a while, right? So I was like, okay, I have my phone. Let's just make a video out of it. What's the most that can happen? I won't upload it. But they're like, content creation challenge aa raha hai. I have always been wanting to do this. This is my opportunity because I know how she works, everything. So I just record a video with her. I did not know editing. I did not know anything.
Yeah.
It's just that I want to make a cool video. That's all. So while she was here for 3 or 4 hours. I record every single second of it. At one point, she was a little bit annoyed as well. I was like, "ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं." It's not like I'll talk to her ever again. Funny story, I did, but we'll come to that later. So yeah, that happened. I made a video. I was doing my internship, and I was like, okay, we have 2 months, and the content creator challenge is about to begin. But I did not even know the E of editing. I was like, damn, what am I gonna do? So I was like, okay, I have this video. I had shot it. I know it has a big face, so it'll work.
Yeah.
So let me just learn how to edit with this video. So I started watching YouTube tutorials. I learned how to edit videos, not in the sense of actually just editing videos, but the mentality and the psychology behind editing. There's this video. Let me just check 1 second. I have it saved. Yeah. So there's this content creator called Dan Mace. The video that he has produced, by the way, he has worked with Mr. Beast. He's the chief content creator at Mr. Beast. He has worked with Casey Neistat as well. So he has made this video called The Art of Filmmaking, where he talks about how to make a YouTube video.
Okay.
I saw that and then I was like, wow, this is for me. I really like this. So whenever I got free time at my internship in Bangalore, I just did this.
Okay.
And then I learned how to edit videos, made it. It took me 2 months to make this one video, which is a lot of time. I made it, it was well edited, so I just sent it to her. And I was like, okay, this is the video I'm making. Aap bata do if you have any issues with it.
Why would she have any issues? Do you want to talk about that also?
No, it's just that, yeah, okay. Because I was like, I've put in so much effort, I need to have something that's a little clickbaity.
Yeah.
So I used this other content creator's name called Samay Raina.
Okay.
And they had a small controversy in the past. It's all sorted now. So I just sent the video to her.
How humbly is this talking? He's talking about this controversy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, I had my fingers crossed. I was like, please don't say no. Please don't say no. And then the reply comes. I sent you a screenshot as well. I was like, and then she was like, oh, I love the video. All the best with the channel. By the way, we're looking for editors for our long form content, and our editing style is great. So my expectation was just her saying yes, but I actually got offered an editing gig out of it. So a person who did not even know editing actually got to edit for a very famous influencer because of this experience.
Yeah.
So yeah, that happened, and so yeah, I edited a couple of videos for her. It all went hunky dory.
This was all paid?
Yeah, it was all paid. I have this one philosophy where I've come to college to learn, and whatever money whatever money I've earned from that gig, whatever those videos were, I want to invest it back into my content. Whether it's buying equipment, buying mics, whether it's getting a thumbnail made, whatever. So I have a separate FamPay account. I have that FamPay account. It has all that money, and I'm only going to use that for content creation. That's the deal. So I was all paid, and yeah, it's been going good.
Do you still edit for her, or now it's
Here and there? I do edit for her here and there. It's basically like a freelancing opportunity, right? She tells me, okay, not her team. She comes to me, they come to me, they're like, there's this video, do you want to do it? If I have the bandwidth, I do it. If not, then not. But right now, I feel like I've gathered a lot of knowledge from it.
Yeah.
And now I want to apply it to my content.
I think as a story generally, I think we should just talk about it as a recap. Raja said, Avanti is coming on campus. She's a big person. I just shoot my shot and go and talk to her and record a video. He did that.
Correct.
I'm assuming with no real expectations out of it. You would have never thought, I'll make a crazy YouTube video out of it.
Nothing.
And then this content creation challenge happens. He says, again, I have something with me. Let me just take my shot at editing. Let me just figure it out. I'll do it. And then from there to actually editing for Avanti Nagral. I remember when I was in 12th grade, these people we meet over here were honestly people I used to genuinely just follow and look like, oh, wow, what a life. I want to meet these people. Can I work with these people someday? And to whoever's followed Cospire, how much I want talk about these podcasts with these people.
Yeah.
But it's cool how it's just about shooting your shots and just taking chances generally.
I also remember like one of the, not the reasons that I came to MU, but when I was like, MU has this, has a lot of marketing content, right? So it had Tanmay Bhatt's face on it.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, wow, if I go there, I might meet Tanmay Bhatt. So that's one of the reasons I applied as well. So hopefully one day.
Absolutely.
Yeah, hopefully in the next, by the next co-spire video, where we feature Rajas, we'll feature for how Rajas met Tanmay Bhatt and now he's working with him.
That'll
Hopefully.
be some good manifestation.
Yeah. What are you looking at ahead of this after content? Okay, wait, let's talk more about content creation. Three of us are doing content creation together. And I've been good friends with most of the people. Most of the people you'll see on Co-Spire's channel, we're all good friends because essentially we're just 140.
Yeah.
We're like a extended joint family where even if you don't love each of us, we don't necessarily need to talk to each of them every day. We're still very close because we're like a small group of people. And to how much I know Krishna, he has never thought of content in his life. He comes from a pure manufacturing background with his father having a textile business in Surat, to him actually doing content and now being so invested in it that now he says that he'll not go home for the next 2 months and just do content. How has the switch been? I remember the first day, you were, for lack of a better word, and I'm sorry for that, but bad at content generally.
No, I actually accept that in case.
How has that changed?
So as you mentioned that primarily I am a person who is very structurally involved into things.
Okay.
Like if I know that this thing is going to take 30 minutes, I have to maximum wrap it up in 45 minutes.
Okay.
Now when it came to content, my whole life switched. It was like a never ending process where you keep on going, exploring your creative zones and places you can work on again and again.
Yeah.
So if you think, okay, ye kaam 1 ghante mein karna hai, you cannot decide a timeline and it may stretch up to 3 to 4 hours. So adapting to that situation in itself in the first week was a big challenge for me. So Yasho absolutely knows it because like he has been doing content for almost a year now. So when we were working together, he was like, Krishna nahi aise kar. So a lot of peer-to-peer learning goes in that way. So a very good learning experience for me, and I'm still learning. Like as I just said that he didn't know the E of editing. So for me, it was like I didn't know the C of content creation. So I'm 1.5 months into it, and I feel I want to explore myself more because content creation is not just about making content, but how do you express yourself. So a lot of learnings on the way.
Fair, so makes sense that content is expression, content is probably your way to learn communication, so many more things. But I think when I was joining this college, I had this question. I'm sure most of the people watching this will think, yeah, yaar, dropshipping, internship, content, ये सब मैं खुद भी कर सकता हूँ. What is the college going to do in that, as in?
Yeah, for me personally, I'll tell you about this from the content POV.
Okay.
It's two things. One, you are forced to do it. And the other, you get an excuse to do it. Okay. So in the sense that for me, I've been wanting to create YouTube videos. I've been wanting to create videos for a long time. But it's just that there was that fear कि लोग क्या बोलेंगे, लोग क्या कहेंगे. There's that fear that what will people say. But now that I was forced to do it, now it's like, okay, this is something that I have to do for college. I created content, and whenever someone messaged me कि अरे ये क्या कर रहा है यार, it was like, अरे it's a college assignment यार, it's a college assignment. But
so I will have to do it by default.
So I have to do it. I'm forced to do it.
Yeah.
But it's a means of something. It's a means of doing something I love without caring about the outcome or without being scared of what people will think. So it's like if I do good, it's great. But if I don't do good, it's not like people can, even for businesses, right? If I'm doing a dropshipping business and if it fails, I did it for an assignment. I did it for college. But if it succeeds, then I created a good business.
That's exactly the case. So I did dropshipping. I did a terrible job at it. I think we weren't able to make a single penny out of it, mostly as it. And so I'll always tell that, college ka tha, it was a good experience, I learned so much, but I didn't make it because college tha, it's okay. And Krishna will always go and tell, 8 months of my life, I've done dropshipping and I learned these things. I had investors who had offers for me. Oh, okay. We didn't talk about investor offers. Do you have to speak about that?
Yeah, primarily.
Basically, I'm trying to actualize the concept that it's not just कि वो 2 महीने का college assignment है.
Yeah.
If you do a good job, of course, if you do a bad job,
Exactly.
it's assignment.
Yeah, so Masters Union organized its dropshipping fair on 6th February this year, and we attracted an investor in that fair. So he primarily got attracted to our name, New Age Wear, and at last he offered us a valuation of 50 lakhs for 50% though. So we initially rejected the offer because it was too much stake involved, and we were doing really very good at that time. Like we were like almost profitable rupees 80,000 to 1 lakh in that period. So we rejected the offer. But afterwards, we realized that we should have actually accepted the offer because there was a lot of experience from his side that was involved.
So if you wanted, you could have had 50 lakhs in your bank account right now out of the drop shipping.
Yeah, I mean, primarily, yes.
Damn, that's crazy. So like 50 lakh rupees.
Yeah.
So you could have had 50 lakhs in your bank account right now. That's like 10 times the average placement that a student from NMIMS or Christ gets.
What are you essentially trying to say? You're saying that NMIMS and Christ don't do a good job at placements, or
We are doing a better job at business. What do you want to say?
I just think that you in particular, you're 10 years ahead of an average person from... I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I just think that the things you've done in this 8 months, it's something that a lot of people wouldn't do. So yeah.
Yeah, but jokes apart, as Tanvi said in the first podcast, that you come here and you increase your surface area for luck. So if it hadn't been the dropshipping fair, I primarily wouldn't have been able to attract investors.
that would have led to you having less confidence. Probably that could have led to so many things which didn't happen. It's similar for content also, right? We put out our first roundtable, and we had this person, of course I'll not name, who would charge, let's say, 6 figures for a day as his fees. And he said that, hey, we want you to make content for us. Or we had this another founder who said that, hey, we want you to make content. So it's like you just put out things and then automatically you attract things. Like he attracted the Avanti Nagral thing also.
The video.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. Also, at Outclass, is it actually like you don't have classes, or what is it? As in, is it like 6 months of your year you don't have any classes, you're just free, or what does it look like?
So it's basically a combination of classes as well as this.
Okay.
So initially it was supposed to be X months of just college and then X months of just Outclass. Then everyone came to a realization that just getting like 3 months of time to do content, for example, it might not be a lot of time. But if you're getting 6 months, for example, or if you're getting 5 months, where 2 months actually overlap with the in-class, it's actually much better because you can learn and you can dedicate some amount of time towards the Outclass at the beginning, and then you can go full on. You can go like head on later. So it's a combination of both essentially.
So 2 months, your classes also continue, as in it's the in-class and the out-class semester.
Yeah.
And then in these 2 months, you figure out so many things. And then the next 2-3 months is when you actually go all in. So we see 10 more videos coming now from Rajesh Gupta.
It's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
But yeah, soon, the next video that's coming up, I think it'll be out already by the time the podcast comes, is a video where I met Samay Raina. So it's crazy how in the first video I clickbaited people into watching the video because of Samay Raina, and then
Actually meeting him and then again clickbaiting them.
Yeah, true. Not a clickbait actually. First watch it and then they'll realize. But yeah, it's actually been crazy. So like, hopefully by the by next month or in the 2 months, all of us create a lot of content and then learn a lot more.
Yeah. While I've already mentioned this 3 times on the channel, but I'm a Admission Fellows Vice President and I interact to a lot of prospective students. And one thing that I've always noticed them talk is कि यार भैया सब लोग बहुत अच्छा बताते हैं कॉलेज के बारे में, बहुत अच्छा वीडियोज़ है, सब कुछ है, लेकिन इस कॉलेज में कम अच्छा क्या है is a question that we all have. So do you all want to talk about, from an Outclass point of view, what can be done better by the college? Rajesh, do you want to talk about what's your experience been about this?
So I think that you'll face a lot of issues in general, right?
True.
Not just with the Outclass, but anything you do. But it's all about telling the management what issues you're facing, and then it's all about them if they can react to it properly and if they can actually get feedback. So I think that's been good. Of course, we actually had a lot of challenges. One of the challenges was that Outclass, we didn't have enough time to create content. because Instagram, you do all of these things. It's very hard to learn the art of it in such a small amount of time. So a lot of us went to the management, told them. So they actually increased the duration. They increased it by 2 months. They might actually increase it by another month. Secondly, there was another challenge that everyone was facing was that we have classes here for content creation, for video editing, all of that. We thought that it wasn't very hands-on. The next guy that came, he was actually a full-time editor for Harsh Beniwa.
Wow.
So Harsh Beniwa is a very famous YouTuber.
Yeah.
He actually taught us how to edit, how to think of ideas. And I was actually able to sit with him for like a couple of hours, understand how to create content as per the Indian audience, because it's a very different art form. He actually connected me to a lot of people who know content creation, who can edit videos, create thumbnails, who can actually give me feedback. So it's, of course, you'll face challenges here, but it's all about how you address it. And then I feel like if the college feels like your request is genuine or if your request is fair, they'll act on it, which I think should be done and is done.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And naturally only, right? We are the first batch, and as the first batch, you'll always be like, yeah, the college is also growing with us, learning with us. These are all ideas they have, and of course, to the best of their intentions. But then, so much of it, when it will be executed, will have iterations that need to be made to make it a good thing. So I think, which is natural, and with the 28 batch, the next batch to us coming in, it's become so much better. I think for them, it's their drop shipping, which have just started right now.
Yeah.
And one that I really commend the energy they have right now. In fact, the energy they had 1 month ago also about dropshipping. They were coming and talking to Krishna कि भाई भैया बताओ आपने कैसे किया, teams कैसे बनाए, किसको select करे, सारी चीजें. And so they've been working almost 1.5 months ahead of us. And it's cool to see how the college has improved since then. We have Gatha over here who's sitting there. Gatha, do you want to come and talk about what's been your experience? Please, Gatha, we can.
Please come up.
Here you go.
Yes, welcome Gatha Thodi. It's an honor to have a UG 28, I won't say kid because I think that's an offensive thing to say, but for context, Gatha is this one person I've genuinely admired in the 28 batch. She's been the person who, she'll say, भाई मैं ये brand बना रही हूँ, मैं एक perfume brand बना रही हूँ, मैं एक podcast कर रही हूँ, मैं ज़िंदगी में बहुत सारी चीज़ें कर रही हूँ. And which makes so much sense for a first year person to do. I mean, you just come to this college and say, I'll do everything that's available. Gatha, how has dropshipping, until now it just started officially though, but you've all been doing it as your batti full thing and beyond it also for so long now. How's it been?
So, like, there we had been provided an opportunity to do Diwali dropshipping mela and something like that. So, we were sitting randomly in a class. I did my Diwali dropshipping with my friends only, Dhwani, Navya and Tanishka. So, Dhwani and Navya are in my class, in my section. We were sitting randomly, getting bored by the classes. We just surfing through our mails. We got that mail that, okay, you can take part in it. We just we went ahead with it. We researched some products, like what product can we search, like sell, like to earn money and get the experience beforehand from other people, like the market visits, the customer interaction, how to improve your sales, and also getting compliment of you're buying this only because you are a great marketer, a great salesperson. So it was just an experience, like a whole of an experience.
This was which time as in you started thinking about dropshipping when?
So we started college in the month of August.
Okay.
And when I heard of MU and the dropshipping thing, so I was thinking that, okay, what should I do? What should I not do? What product should I choose? Because
But this was which month as in when did you start?
About dropshipping in the month of August itself.
Oh.
Yeah,
So 20th August you all come here
20th, yeah.
and then it's already a thought as in the first 10 days it becomes thought. It was so different as in even though you were a very successful dropshipping team, I think you started in November.
Yes. So that was the zeal we were talking about previously. That we started it 20 days back, and now the aim to win the challenge and have that कि भाई मेरे को dropshipping जीतना है is so huge. Like it's 10 times more than our batch. So this is a live example of it.
It's also because there's a benchmark set, right? Then for us, it was key. We have to make everything. We are the one who set all the benchmarks. We make a great video. We do a good internship. It's all for the first time. There's nobody competing, or we don't have to beat anybody.
But there's a very important learning here, right?
Okay.
It's that, of course, when she came here, she had a lot of resources, not just in terms of classes, but in terms of peers.
Yeah.
So anyone who's doing this Outclass, it's genuinely not just competing with your peers, but getting a lot of feedback from them. For example, in UG28, there's a person called Sarthak Arora.
Okay.
He is so good with content, and when I came here, we're in the same hostel, and the amount of learnings I've had from him and how much he has helped me has been as much, if not more, than YouTube videos or the lessons here. So it's also about the peers you get here.
In the first roundtable also, the main thing we all agreed upon eventually is that the peer community over here is which pushes you to do everything. In fact, indirectly we all touched upon it in this one also, talking about how when our peers do content or they do dropshipping, we're all overly motivated कि नहीं भाई वो कर रहा है, I'll also do it.
Yes,
Let's
yes,
go.
we are.
Thank you
Let's
so
go,
much,
Gatha.
guys.
See you, Gatha. Let's do a table revamp also. Let's restart now. We've talked too much about content, naturally only because we're all in our content creation challenge right now. So it's natural to have stories about this time right now. I think we haven't covered enough of internships right now. Can we talk about what have been your stories at Basil and what are memories you take away from that experience?
So I can very vividly recollect this one particular incident, right? So this was in my second week of the internship itself. So the whole first week was me getting to know about the company, getting to know about the founders, etc., right? But then second week, okay, so before that, I'll just basically tell you all what my role was. So I was an area manager intern, right? So during then, they had like 13 outlets across Delhi NCR, and they had 3 outlets in Delhi, for which I was the area manager intern. So in my week 2, I actually started groundwork. I started going to outlets one by one, and I started to check up on how things are being going and if the SOPs are being followed or not, right? An interesting thing, Bipradeep, who was my manager, he hadn't informed all the people who were working at the kiosk about me being the new manager. So while I was going to the kiosks one by one, so this outlet in Select City Walk, which we had, I go up to him as a customer, I order a drink, he gives the drink to me, but then he doesn't hand over the bill to me. So I ask him ki, bhaiya, bill bhi de do. He does that because of course I had to get that reimbursed to the company. So I asked him the bill, he gave it to me. And then I was like, okay, bhaiya, QR code dikhao. So he pulls up his POS machine and then he enters the amount and he shows a QR code. So while I was scanning it, right, it said a person's name, let's say Ram. So it said Ram. And I was like, wait, if I'm purchasing something from Basil, it should technically say Basil Healthlicious Private Limited and not someone's name, right? So बातों बातों में ही मैंने भैया से पूछा कि भैया आपका नाम क्या है? He said कि मेरा नाम राम है. So I was like कि अरे ये क्या हो रहा है? Like, so later I realized that he was wrongfully taking payments into his personal QR code, and he was stealing company's money. So I went back to the office and then we discussed this with the team. And then one very interesting thing happened after he got terminated was that in the following 1 week, right, the weekly sales rose up by 70% on a daily basis. Yeah, so for that one kiosk, it was doing 15,000. And after that person was terminated, in the following week, on a daily basis, it jumped from 15,000 to 25,000 a day.
Bro, that's so real world. I mean,
I feel bad for Ram though.
But he had already made his money out of it.
yeah. No, but that's insane, right? As in, that's so real world for an 18-year-old, and essentially you're a kid at 18. As in,
Yeah, and bro, it gets even more real,
Absolutely.
right? So during those 3 months, I was essentially managing 6-7 people directly under me. All of them were in their mid-20s, like bare minimum. And I was a 18-19-year-old, right? So to me, it was a very interesting learning about how do I communicate through them while I maintain my boundaries and theirs, so that there is proper communication. I get the work done. I make sure that they're following the SOPs. But at the same time, from their POV, they don't feel like it's some 18-year-old random person teaching me how to do business.
Yeah, even I could very heavily relate to that because we decided to continue our dropshipping business after the challenge ended, and hence we had to manage our dropshipping business and studies side by side. So we hired employees who worked for us. Like we had 3 to 4 employees with us, and I faced similar issues where I was managing people made in the 20s and 30s. So they were like, "Arey,
Who was the oldest employee you had?
the oldest employee that I had was of 32 years of age."
what?
Almost twice your age.
Yeah, almost twice my age. So it was like, अरे ये लोग job दे रहे और काम भी कर रहे. So it became a lot co-ownership. I mean, it became a lot collaborative work rather than me telling him what to do. So those experiences were
Cool, bro. Yeah.
really hands-on.
I think one thing I automatically thought right now about dropshipping is that anybody would have listened to you right now would have felt by this is something I want to do in life as a non-negotiable. Dropshipping करना है, employees चाहिए, 8 महीने, investor, सारी चीज़ें. As a realistic question, talk about as a batch, how did we do in dropshipping? Did people make money? And let's say a random number of, can somebody earn, let's say, enough to fund their expenses in living in Gurgaon. Gurgaon is expensive. Let's say 30,000 rupees a month out of dropshipping. Is it a feasible idea? Should people think that way, or you think it's more about learning only?
Our founder, Pratham Mittal, said, you are meant to fail in dropshipping. So we, as a batch, did not do a very great job at dropshipping because obviously there are easier ways to make money. So look at as more of an experiential learning and not ways to make money.
So you didn't do a good job means that you didn't make money out of it, but learning-wise, it was a very good thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So as I told you that I had to deal with suppliers, with investors, with employees, with my partners. So all of those experiences were indeed very great.
Yeah, a lot of people said this to me. Don't look at this as a means to earn 2,000 rupees right now, but 2 crore rupees 10 years down the line.
Whoa,
So
damn.
learn skills which will help you earn 2 crores later. Let's go.
So when you continuously adapt to different situations, you get different types of perspective and hence learn from them.
Fair. I think now we've made a very comprehensive video about Masters Union Outclass, and for anybody who's a prospective student for Masters Union and is watching this right now, I am sure they're super excited about this. If they're super excited, they think, yeah, how can I optimize chances to do a good job at these outclasses? Do you recommend they should do anything right now when they're in grade 12, or they should just fill out the application and let it be?
I think if they want to do something right now, it would be learning those skills, right? For example, if I knew the basics of product management before I went to Dimension, or if I knew the basics of editing before I actually started making YouTube videos, or I understood the psychology behind certain things, and I would have a big edge over other people. So if anyone is very interested in MEO and wants to do this as a part of Outclass, and if they want to do something right now, I'd say learn those skills. Start learning those skills on some level right now, because doing something right now will give you a lot of returns when you're actually.
So you can just start, do basic things right now. Don't think of making, let's say, a next big business. Just think of doing the soft skills and basics of things right now.
And don't do this for MEO. Don't do this for a college. Do this for yourself.
Wow.
That's when you'll be the best at it.
Also adding on to that, people who have not yet figured out what skills they want to learn or are still exploring can choose internship, maybe of a month or two, to gain that exposure that what they are generally interested into, and then start working in that area. So that will be really helpful if you already know what you are interested in general, and then you come to Masters Union or any college.
I think it's more nuanced. What you mean to say is essentially, if you have a lot of free time, do internships, do something. But primarily, do we all agree that focus on your boards, focus on doing the right way, focus on applying in the right colleges, preparing for them. And if you still have time, do other things. Let's say after your boards is done, you'll essentially have 3 months free if you're coming to MU. That is the time when you do all these things. And please don't compromise with your ACADS or anything else. Fair, makes sense. Great advice for anybody who's watching this right now. And thank you so much for watching this till the end, people. And thank you for taking out time and giving us all these nuggets of information, which I am sure if as a grade 12 student I was watching, I would have been in love with you all essentially. So thank you so much, boys.
Thank you.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's go.
And that was today's video. We hope you enjoyed it and were able to get some value out of it. Please let us know in the comments what are the other kind of videos you would want to watch. Also, we're creating a WhatsApp community for people like yourself, people who are interested in modern education. So do join that. The link is in the description. Thank you for tuning in. See you in the next one.